God bless it. Brandy, you're here. How are you?
I'm here. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I have been looking forward to hanging out with you today.
Oh my gosh,
all
yes.
week long. The weeks and days are blending together. The things that are going into my head, it's like 10 hours a day of just like, I had no idea that was a thing.
That's my life in a summary. I thank you for that.
Yeah. Here's a reason that Idaho's awesome. Here's an awesome one. I met with the director of insurance today. I didn't know we had a director of insurance.
We have a director of insurance?
We have like a department of insurance, and here's the director, and he comes in, and because everybody sees the fires happening in California, everybody sees the drama going on across the country with like really bad fires. Everyone sees all these terrible things. And then we see insurances getting dropped. And just like to add insult to injury, everything burns. You run for your life. And then like, oh, by the way, we're not covering your house that's now, $3 million to replace. It's like it's 1,700 square feet. They're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Really terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And Idaho is watching this thing like, that ain't right. So, and again, we had this horrendous fire season last year. And, this year is going to be even worse. We're already having wildfires up north, which is crazy because we're in the middle of winter, right? But there isn't snowpack and there's not enough precipitation. Anyway, so the director of insurance is like, okay, we need to do something to incentivize insurance companies, not force them, not try to take them over, but incentivize insurance companies to continue coming to the table and insuring Idahoans. So we had this whole conversation about it. And it was like incredible the things they're doing. And at the end, he's like, and by the way, if anybody's listening, just so you know, if you ever have a problem with your insurance, call my office. Like you supply them with a contract. They go to bat for you for the insurance. It's like, this is the state of Idaho that's going to get on the horn and argue with your insurance company for you.
That's amazing.
I know.
I was going to headbutt this. Wow. Good gracious today.
My goodness. Yeah. It was just super cool to hear that.
I didn't even know that existed.
I know. Super cool.
He's wiggling to get comfortable. I'm going to go like this.
Go cross lap.
Well, I tried, and then my arm was sore for 2.5 days. Literally, after our last episode, I was holding him. My arm was shaking at the end. And then by the next morning, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I lifted a bunch of weights. Oh,
I kind of did.
I did. And then I was like trying to squirm.
Yeah, I have to say the tensile strength or static strength that you have to have when you have babies. I remember like carrying one of my kids around and my arm feeling like it was going to break. It's like, buck up, son. Like, here we go.
I had a member of the chamber. We had our business after hours last night. Yeah. And I was in these exceptionally beautiful high heels. Like they're one of my favorite heels on the face of the planet. And they are this tartan plaid, peephole, 4 inches. And Santino is on my leg, like climbing up me and like holding on. And I start just like standing there. And then I like go to walk away and he's still on my leg. And he's like, you are a superhero. You're like, how are you doing this right now? And I was like, many years of training, Bob. Many years.
I go to Palaia, of course.
Yeah, right? I did kick lines for years, Bob. This is nothing.
You know what's an interesting thing with female attire? I was at this pro fight once, years back, and this guy walks up, and he's got like his trainer with him and his coach, and then like a gal, like his gal or something, and whatever.
Wait.
It was his gal, and she was wearing these like leopard hot pants, which is hilarious. She's like, what are you doing? Like, this is and she's walking up, she walks him out and he goes on and then she goes down by his corner. It's like, awesome, whatever. And I was joking with this gal, Denise, who was part of Danville's Jiu-Jitsu. I was like, Denise, check out the cheetah pants. Like, what are these hot pants? And she just out of nowhere was like, maybe she just wanted to be fancy. And what killed me is I was like, fancy. And I thought about it for like 2 weeks. I was like, guys don't get to be fancy. Guys get to be handsome. They get to be dapper.
You get to be dapper.
No, that's not the same as fancy though. Fancy is you wear like hot pink, you wear cheetah, you put lip balm, like you put Vaseline on your eyebrows.
One more time. What do I put on my eyebrows?
Beef balm. I don't know.
Tallow. Thank you.
There it is. You put tallow on.
Petroleum products.
Like, what can I do? Like I can be clean shaven and have a good neckline.
You can put Vaseline on your eyebrows too, Matt.
Oh my God.
I had a visual. It was the worst thing ever.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Okay. So today, My heart's so sad. We have this amazing little coffee shop, Coffee and Supply, that's closing up. But Form and Function is going to take its place. So I'm pretty excited. They're beautiful, wonderful owners. But over here, we have a brownie that is gluten-free and vegan from Nosh.
God bless this
I just
thing.
need to have like Nosh come and hand deliver these things to my house.
This is like brownie / this is gluten-free, like
And vegan, yeah.
no dairy.
Yeah,
I was going to say like my stomach's, this is
It's not.
fantastic.
Okay.
Where's Nosh?
That's a good question. So that's what we need to find out. Nosh, I need to know where you are.
This is the best
And then,
brownie I've had like since I was
yeah.
16
Okay,
and
I
made
need
a
a
box
piece.
brownie. Okay, here you go.
A box brownie. Oh my gosh.
Like the trash box brownies
it's like
that
the
we're all
cosmic
going to die
ones.
from.
Oh,
Here you
the
go.
ones that are going to give us cancer.
Yeah, well, I mean, did you hear that Red Dye 3 is now axed?
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we need 40 out now.
Yeah.
And then the blue and all the yellows.
All of them.
Just get rid of them.
Let's bring back purple cabbage.
This is exceptional.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but Coffee and Supply hooked it up with this strawberry dipped mocha or
Okay,
something.
so I went and grabbed you. It is a chocolate dipped strawberry mocha.
Can I tell you something about myself?
Tell me something.
My life. Not just myself and my life. Let me tell you something about my wife. She refuses to do chocolate and fruit, which I think is so unfortunate. Chocolate covered blueberries, chocolate covered strawberries,
Acai.
chocolate covered, acai.
Oh,
You got chocolate covered like oranges, like chocolate everything. And she won't do it.
not
And
even
this,
chocolate cherries?
bro, she won't do chocolate and fruit. And it kills me. Because you know, like when you meet somebody that you want to like share the things with.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I love this. I love this. I want her to love this. I want to share my love for this with her. All these
I
things.
want to at midnight open up a box of chocolate covered fruit and eat them until
And
we're
just
sick.
stuff, just
And then we pass out.
disgusted.
And then
Yeah.
they're like, I don't like that.
Did you have any? Yeah. So like this definitely reminds me. It's like, well, no big deal. Did you ever have, when you were dating your husband, did you ever have like your binge phase where you're like, hey, we're adults. We can do anything we want. Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
go-
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know how many times I've eaten ice cream for breakfast just because I could? That is
I
my
almost
life.
spit this out.
I should warn you when I'm going to have a funny for the record. But seriously,
'cause.
like it was like, nobody can tell me I can't.
Oh my God.
And then I'd end up with a stomach ache. There's also that.
We had two things when we were in our 20s. It was like I was 23, she was 22. One night, I remember we were living in this like little 1-bedroom place. I was like, you know what I want for dinner? She was like, what? I'm like, I want a loaf of French bread and barbecue sauce. So we went to Safeway and got a semi-Freddy's loaf.
Yes.
I think we got like 2 loaves. And then we went to the barbecue aisle. And I was like, all right. She's like, well, like what kind of barbecue sauce? I was like, I want the barbecue sauce with the highest sugar concentration available. So we spent 15 minutes on the barbecue looking. And you know what we found before it was famous was Sweet Baby Ray's. It was on the bottom shelf and it had the highest sugar content out of all of the barbecue sauces. We took it and we're like, this is incredible. And no joke, like a year later, you found the double pack for like 2 half gallons in Costco of Sweet Baby Ray's. It's like, and now it's top shelf.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, but that's when it was literally on the bottom. And like we had to go all the way down and I was like, 18 grams of sugar for like a half teaspoon. Oh, that's mine. Like, I don't even know how they got it in.
Like, how do you get so much sugar in
right.
that?
So we had that night, and then the next one, the next like most incredible binge is, I was like, dude, I kind of want something sweet. Here I'm eating like a thing of barbecue sauce. I was like, I want something sweet. She's like, yeah. It's like, do you remember those things, like the little pies? She was like, what? I was like,
pudding pies and the fruit
like
pies?
the home run pies. And she was like, those little like
Hand
hot
pies.
pockets. I was like, yeah. So we went to Safeway. And we bought 18 of them. We bought 2 of every single flavor and just walked up to the counter. And the lady was like, for real? I was like, it's happening. And we go home and we just opened them all up in the living room. We were watching like, do you remember when you used to be able to binge watch Discovery Channel?
Oh, yes.
You know, like Discovery Channel it was like MTV. It had a hot moment and like we would watch killer squids and like ants and like the whole thing.
And you got to see the drama of the animal life. It was
Yes.
amazing.
Discovery Channel was hot. Like that
And then
was
they got
the go-to.
into Shark Week. Once they got into Shark Week, they got too big for the britches.
You know what's interesting? I actually agree with you because Shark Week got so big.
It like overthrew everything.
And like Shark Week was cool because you had just the right combination of like, wow, that's interesting. And like that person's missing a leg. Like,
that person's going to be missing a leg.
they had on Shark Week, they had actual footage of this woman getting attacked by a shark in the middle of the ocean. And it was this whole like documentary of like interviewing her and then like video from the boat where they're like, swim to the raft, swim. And she's swimming and you see this. She's pathetically swimming. Like, and it was just, I remember it.
I like the commentary that we have to talk about how she was swimming.
Listen. She didn't put her head down and like bust out some kind of Michael Phelps, like butterfly. She was like, ah! And mind you, I would just turn around and give up. I'd be like, here it is. I had a good run. She's swimming towards this raft. They're in the middle of the ocean. They're like, sharks don't come up to the surface in like open water like this because that's not where their food source is.
He saw a snack. I'm sorry. You dangle a piece of bacon in front of me. Of course I'm going to run towards it.
So everybody jumps in the water and she's on like some cruise or something.
They jump in the water?
Everybody jumps. No, this is just like they're having fun. They jump in the water and then all of a sudden she realizes she's the only one in the water and everybody's screaming at her and she looks behind and hears like the fin, right? And no joke, she was like, I was swimming towards this raft and the shark is like nibbling. So the shark is testing out what the thing is because it doesn't know. Okay. So it's like, she was like, it was like a puppy dog.
Is she
like
well seasoned?
Oh my God. Like, is this tender? And so finally the shark's like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So it clamps onto her leg and she was like, I didn't even feel pain because her body apparently, and they'll go, of course, have scientists on there. They're like, when you get bit by a shark, your brain dumps dopamine into your system to like deal with the impending like horrendous pain. And I'm watching this as I'm eating the home run pie. Like, try the chocolate one.
The chocolate pudding's divine.
Right. And then she was like, and then I just feel this big pull. And this is the point when like her leg comes off at the knee. And they like get her into the raft. And like, anyway, so she survives minus, the lower part of her right leg. And we're watching this.
She can never tap dance again, Matt. Like, no. I'm sorry.
She can. She just has to hop dance.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. But she'd be a better dancer than the Australian break dancer from the Olympics.
Oh my gosh, that was phenomenal.
Did you see all the like mashups and like Halloween costumes?
Oh, well, and then to find out like the backstory of how she actually got there.
I didn't hear this.
Okay, so from my understanding.
By the way, Coffee and Supply, I have done you wrong in that I didn't know you made this strawberry mocha thing. Mm-hmm. I would have been singing your praises forever. I'm sorry, Coffee and Supply. This is incredible.
My heart's sad. But hopefully Form and Function kind of keeps the same caliber. So we'll have to try Form and Function when they come in. Is that a
coffee shop?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a workout place.
No.
Oh, great.
No, it's another coffee shop.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and I'll give it a shot. Too, like with Coffee and Supply, one thing they do.
Do you want more brownie?
Oh, of course. Is that a question?
This is really, really good.
Of course I do.
This. Oh, God bless it. Anyway, you were saying?
I'm really hoping they keep that local piece going because something that Coffee and Supply did really well was they brought in Hudson Bakery bread and Nosh locally baked goods, and they.
God bless little people.
I love my little people.
My youngest is 8, and
Does that feel weird?
It really does.
Saying that out loud,
because I'm 10 years away from biologically having no purpose in the world.
I'm sorry, wisdom doesn't stop when they turn 18, Matt. It gets even better until their frontal lobe develops.
I just feel like this has been like such a journey of parenting so far. Like I was rolling to middle school. I drive my 7th grader to school every day. And we've started having these like really awesome car rides. And it's this 15 minutes where it's just me and him. Because my wife spearheads the 5th grader and the 2nd grader, and I take the 7th grader and, like divisional, the whole thing. And I was literally thinking like, dude, in 5 years, he's gone. Like, this is it. He started wearing these khaki pants that make him look like an adult. And he's already taller than my wife. We have the same shoe size. I'm size 13. He's in 7th grade. He wears 13.
You make me feel so much better. Vinny's already in a men's 6.5 or 6, and he's 9. And like we're looking, my brother wears a size 15. My dad's a size 13. So like I'm watching, I'm like, these shoes are going to be boats. They're going to be boats, man. But you're really tall though. So that just shows how much taller he has the potential to be.
I'm not as tall as my boys are going to be. My youngest is slotted to be 6'5", 210. Right? Like my second.
He's going to be a beast, man.
My second is supposed to be 6'4", 190. Just lean and me. Like, God bless it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel like, do you have a moment in parenthood where you're like, this was a pivotal moment that I feel like as a parent, I've done something right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've had one or two. I've had far more times when I'm like, you botched that. And like, I've kind of come to terms like, this is the human experience, right? Like everybody talks about it. So it's like, hey, it's not just you. Nobody knows what they're doing. Have you seen The Wild Robot?
No.
Oh my God. I can't even talk about it without crying. The Wild Robot is quite possibly the best movie that will come out this entire decade. It is fantastic. You should watch it immediately upon arriving back at home tonight. Yeah, no. So I really like that movie. I have had one of my kids really throws tantrums or threw tantrums, and they were bad. And it was the kind of thing where he's old enough that you're like, you should be able to understand the language I'm speaking to you. Like, you're not 3 throwing a fit on the floor Target. And it was really, really tough because like he was old enough. It's like, okay, I can talk to you. You can talk to me. Like, you're just torturing the house with this, flip out. And it's tough. And at one point, at several times, I had to grab him and just carry him upstairs. And I mean, I have big kids, so it's like they're wrestling and stuff. And I would get upstairs and essentially just get him into his room. And he has a chair, and I would just sit down in the chair and be quiet and just wait. Now, mind you, we are all fried by the time I get to this point. Absolutely. The nerves are shot. We've tried to appease the situation. We've tried to find compromises. We've tried to work this out. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you just would get on a tear, and that was it. And that was really, really hard. And I was talking to the wife at one point, and she's like, gosh, I feel so bad, all these things. I'm like, no, he's gonna grow out of this. And at no point did we start like hitting him. At no point did we lose our composure. The worst thing we did is carry him up to his room and let it pass. And then when he got over the hump, we reintegrated him immediately back into the family. Like, he would come back down, everybody would start cheering. But you
sat there, you helped co-regulate that nervous system dysregulation.
Right. And it was that kind of thing where it's like, look, I'm a bad person and I'm a bad father. That's fine. But I didn't screw that one up. And that's really important to me. And
absolutely.
And later, as he got older, he was like, out of nowhere, be like, hey, I'm sorry about those times I like flipped out. I'm like, it's cool, bud. It's no problem. But I never had that moment where he's like, hey, I'm sorry. Where I'm like, dude, I'm sorry too. Like, I held you down and spanked you, like, or something like that. I never had that. Not that people that spank their kids are inappropriate. Like, everybody's trying to get through parenting.
Absolutely.
Right? But I didn't, I feel like we gave him enough space to work his human experience out, and then didn't like shame him.
Absolutely. Don't mind me feeding the animals. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Don't feed the animals.
At the office, so at our chamber office, Vinny has lovingly adopted a squirrel that lives in the tree outside. He's named it Alfred. So we've lovingly named him Batman now, because obviously his sidekick Alfred. And I have literal photos of him hand feeding almonds to this squirrel.
No.
Yeah, like literally the squirrel will come and scratch on the door.
Don't say that too loud. The New York Police Department's going to bust down your door. Where's Alfred?
We want Alfred. You can't have him.
That was New York, right?
Yeah. Well, and that whole situation was bananas and a half, if you ask me. But yes, we have lovingly adopted a little squirrel, and it like horrifies everybody else in our family. They're like, you're going to get rabies. And I was like, well, I'm not sticking my fingers in his mouth. I'm just giving him nuts. And like, he's trained him to eat a nut off of his shoe.
That's wild.
Or like, he'll come and just sniff the shoe, grab the little nut and sit there, and eat his nut. And yeah.
I love that. I love that for your kid.
We were jokingly like, we need my membership manager when she's there one day to like be handing her card to the squirrel, and we'll have a campaign of like, anyone can join the chamber.
Oh,
how cute would that be?
God, no! All we need to do is get the picture of him handing the nut, and we'll just I love it. We'll do like a card. I'll just put it in. Like,
perfect.
Photo
Done.
edit it.
Done.
Anybody can join the chamber. Nuts are us.
We are nuts.
Yeah, you should be like, drop your business card off and join the raffle. Get in the car for the squirrel.
Hey, and then have Santino with us. So Santino.
Why didn't you tell me this earlier? We could have come up with a ton of ideas.
Oh my gosh, we'll have to like brainstorm this one later. Seriously. Okay, so I need you to try this kombucha while we're on a tangent over here.
God
So we
bless
talked last year about how you think kombucha tastes like dirty socks or something.
Fermented socks.
Yes, basically.
Which it does.
Okay, in our defense, this is our family favorite. And if you ask any of my kids or husband, like, we have to have it out of the glass bottle. It's not the same if you get it in just the like can.
I believe you.
So this one is passion
like
fruit and
Coca-Cola.
clementine. Oh yeah, it is.
Coca-Cola, you got to get like that pure cane sugar.
You got to get the Mexican Coke.
When's the last time, here you go,
that I had a Coca-Cola?
Yeah, that you had a little. When's the last time you had a Coke? Like a full-blown Coke?
It was probably easily 8-9 years ago. I have a problem with all the chemicals that are in the Coke, and I know too much.
Yeah, you and the rest of the world. Like, everybody
Obviously,
knows.
But I did splurge and have a Dr. Pepper.
Like a regular or a diet?
Like, I think it was like a 0 because that's all that I could find. But it was one of those days where I was like jonesing for one, and I forgot how much I love Dr. Pepper's flavor. So if we could somehow like make that not
bad for you,
kill me, like that would be.
Well,
like,
there's Mr. Pibb.
Mr. Pibb is his like adopted brother from another mother.
That's like Sprite versus 7-Up is Coke versus Pepsi, right? Dr. Pepper versus Mr. Pibb is Coke versus Pepsi, right?
Yep.
Like,
it's not even the same. You can't.
No. What is it? Mountain Dew. There's a Mountain Dew, and then there's a counterpoint. It's like Mountain Mist or something. Or
no, Sierra Mist is the 7-Up and Sprite offset.
Oh, interesting. There's something for Mountain Dew, though, isn't there?
Actually, I think there's one that has replaced Sprite. Like, I can't find Sprite anymore. It's like Mountain Mist. Or maybe that's Mountain Mist is
You can't find
Pepsi.
Sprite? Like at Winco, they don't have Sprite?
No, they might. Hold on. I'm trying to think. It might be Pepsi that I'm mistaking. And it's actually Pepsi's like counterpart to Sprite.
Do you remember Crystal Pepsi from the early 90s?
Oh my gosh, the clear one?
It was so great. And it was so amazing. Yes. I guzzled that stuff.
Do you remember?
Like it's like you're literally just guzzling it because it's clear. Like, we thought it was so cool. I was like, buy gallons of it, Mom.
Yes. But they just didn't put the dye.
Right.
Like, when you think about it now, you're like, wow, why can't we just do that now?
It's
That's
different.
Weird. But I also think of the green and purple ketchup. Do you remember green and purple ketchup back in the 90s? You don't remember that?
No.
Okay, so back when like Nickelodeon was huge with slime and everyone would be slime, so they would do like a slime interface with Heinz ketchup, and we had green ketchup at one point in time. Oh my gosh, you can't tell me you don't remember and didn't try it.
Brandy, I've never lied. I don't remember this.
We're gonna pull this up on the internet because you need to see it. We used to put like literal green like sludge on our hot dogs.
I love. Do you remember Nickelodeon was hot for a while? Like when they had the whole slime thing. What'd he say?
He goes, I have a mustache.
Oh my gosh, you do. Slime was hot with like, I think the interface of Ninja Turtle with an ooze and Nickelodeon with a slime like marked a generation.
Oh yeah, it totally did. I remember wanting to be on Slime Time with my family and do all the challenges.
Gosh, that was so great.
It was amazing. It was a simpler time, though.
What do you think about the movies from the 80s, though? Like 80s and 90s, like the cartoons. Like, we have Inside Out now.
Yeah.
Like, we have Pixar that makes everybody cry.
Yeah.
Like Bing Bong, when Bing Bong dies in Inside Out, I cry thinking about it. Like, every Pixar movie, I cry.
Oh, I know. Like, they have a weird way of doing that to
They
people.
do, but like, you cry in like an acceptable way. Like Land Before Time, when the mom defends the kid from the T-Rex and then dies, you ugly cry. Like, you see that now and you like, it is like, I can't watch that in front of my kids. And like the baby dinosaurs trying to get the mom to wake up, Mom, wake up. And you're like,
you're like hyperventilating.
This is why we're all in therapy.
Yes.
Like when I was 7, I was like, she's going to die.
Yes. We were just watching The Rescuers Down Under last night.
It's a great one. Albatross.
So
Albatross.
Okay. Yes. And then the kid gets kidnapped. I'm watching this as an adult. I'm like, that child is being kidnapped and the animals are having to save him. Like, this is insane. And then you're watching this terrible human being lock him in a cage. And then there's this little animal and they're joking that the only way out is he's going to get turned into a purse. Oh my gosh.
Okay. But listen, the seminal moment of cinema was The Goonies. Could you imagine making the character Sloth?
I've never seen
What? You've never seen Goonies?
I'm so sorry, Matt.
Hey, you guys, you don't know that line?
No.
Sloth love chunk?
No.
The truffle shuffle?
Okay, what year did it come out?
Dude, I don't know. Like, it could have come out 100 years ago.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't, like, it was like 88 or 90. I don't know. I'm checking it out now.
Okay, so in my defense,
When did Goonies
I
come out?
lived in a very, very sheltered household. I was not allowed to watch PG-13 movies until I was like 14.
It was 85. June 7th, 1985.
Born in 91.
It doesn't matter. I saw Star Wars. I was born
Fair.
in 82.
That's
like,
fair.
come on. Back to the Future? Like, when was Back to the Future? That was mid-80s, actually.
That was
I
as well.
definitely alive. That was Michael J. Fox.
No, it's okay.
That's prime.
It's just I feel like there's a couple gaps for me. And we always have these jokes in my house, though, with my husband, because he does the same thing. What do you mean you've never seen this movie? We've been together for 12 years. How do I not know this? And we like have a list from my friends and him of these are the movies I need to be watching because I've never seen them all. And obviously now the Goonies has to be on there.
My wife has never seen Back to the Future.
Really?
She's never seen any of them. She doesn't know who the doc is. She doesn't know any of that. So like 1.21 gigawatts, she doesn't know that.
She doesn't get the reference?
She's never seen it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, it's part of American like cinema
It's an
history.
American
You had
cultural
Back to the
thing.
Future 1, 2, 3, like when they had the train that
Oh my
flew.
gosh.
Like I loved those movies.
I do
you
too.
remember not E.T., but Short Circuit?
I've never seen Short Circuit.
Oh my God, how about Batteries Not Included with the little alien flying saucers?
I have no idea what that is.
Uh,
I did watch things like Can of Worms, another beautiful Disney Channel movie. You don't remember Can of Worms?
No,
When he
I-
opens up the wormhole and all of these different aliens start coming out? Oh
didn't
my
see that one.
gosh.
How about Little Shop of Horrors?
Never seen it.
Seymour, feed me. You don't remember that?
No. Well, and see that to me, I've heard of it. I know the references and I get them, but I've never actually watched the movie. However, if you ask me about The Godfather, that is one of my favorite movies on the face of the planet, is that entire series. Have you ever seen it in chronological order? It is.
You know what? I need to give that series another shot because I watched it. Dude, I was such a jerk. When I was in college, okay, I was 20 years old dating this girl. And I go to her house in Chicago for Thanksgiving. And go there. It's a bad situation. Her parents were in the midst of this like hot divorce. And
Awkward.
I arrive and they haven't finalized it yet. They're like the mom's living at one of the aunt and uncle's houses. The dad's living in some, apartment. I arrive the night I arrive. They're literally finalizing the sale of their family home that transfers at midnight. So we get there at like 7 p.m. And the aunt who picks us up is like, hey, just so you know, not everybody's not at their best right now. And I was like, nice to meet you too, Susan. Like, what do you mean? And I was like, where are we going to go get some food? They're like, we're taking you to the house. I was like, the house. And the mom and dad were there together cleaning it. Cause like it was transferring sale. And so like, imagine like this divorced couple or like soon to be divorced. And there was some, bad stuff that led to it, having to like scrub the kitchen floor together. Like, and I arrive like, hello, Morton. Nice to meet you. Like it was not a great.
I'm your daughter's boyfriend.
Right. Like, oh my God, it was terrible. So then we're staying for the first 2 nights on the like downstairs floor of the aunt and uncle's house.
Matt.
Yes, this is what's happening. Okay. So we're sleeping on this like blow up bed with, and her sister who was like still in high school. So it was a train wreck for this poor young girl. She's sleeping like on the floor next to us. The mom is sleeping on the floor, like on the other side of the couch. It was this hot mess. And like, that was my experience going there. I was like, this is wild. So I'm there like, this is too much. And then they bring up at Thanksgiving dinner, they bring up The Godfather. And at this point I'm like, I'm 20. I'm an idiot. I'm like, what? Like, I don't get The Godfather. And apparently it's their favorite movie. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what's the point of The Godfather? Like, I don't understand. And the uncle looks at me like, oh, because he's got these like 5 people sleeping on his floor downstairs. He also had a problem with soda, so he was drinking like 2-liter bottles of soda a day. You can imagine what his life was like. And at this point, he's just like, it's like barely hanging on. I can imagine him now. He's like, this is my Thanksgiving. There are these people in the house and this asshole from sitting here banging on my movie. And he just starts pouring himself just a straight, neat bottle of what is Grey Goose. He's just like, and it's like, I remember looking, I'm like, what is the dude doing? And now it's like, oh, he was coping. He was just coping.
He was surviving. He was not thriving.
He was like, how has my Thanksgiving become this?
Oh my gosh. That poor Thanksgiving. He's like forever going to be like, we're skipping Thanksgiving. We're going to shut the house down. Nobody knows we're here.
Oh my gosh. You know what we should do when the legislative session is over and like I reliberate myself from like the insanity of this?
Absolutely.
Do you remember Monsters Time Theater?
If I say yes, what I don't know. No, I don't. What is it?
It was these robots, this like ridiculous thing on like the Cartoon Network that these robot like puppet things would watch an old movie of like, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Okay.
And you would just see their silhouette as if you're watching it in a theater, and it had curtains on either side. And they'd be like, do you think he's going to eat the clam? He's not going to eat the clam. Like, and they just make this commentary as you're watching this movie. So you experience this old movie with these ridiculous robots. Like,
and the commentary that they have of
we
it.
should do that to like the Goonies and stuff.
Yes.
And we could just sit here watching the movie and then making like the Matt and Brandy commentary.
I love this already. You've unfortunately had me bought in like 30 seconds into this idea.
It would be hilarious.
Let's do it.
And then we can just get popcorn and like watch the old movies.
I love it.
I love this.
I'm in. I love this.
It's going to be great.
In a heartbeat.
And then we can revisit like all the hilarious movies from the 70s and 80s, like Labyrinth. Do you remember Labyrinth?
I remember Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Yes. Okay. My favorite movie of all time, though, one of which is The Princess Bride. Oh my gosh.
Inconceivable.
I do not think that word means what you think that means.
You keep using this word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Anybody want a peanut?
May you dream of large women.
Rats of innumerable size?
Yes. Yes, so it was rats, the screaming eels, rats of innumerable size, like the exploding pit thing.
Yes.
Like the whole chocolate helps it go down easier. To blave, which means to bluff, which was probably.
Oh, this is a kissing book.
Yes. Oh my God, I loved all. So we can watch all those old movies as like this funny thing.
And then it's just us quoting the movie over the movie.
Oh my God,
that would be amazing.
There's this guy who lives in Meridian, who was actually supposed to be like move into this neighborhood, but then he decided not to. The point is, he runs this Instagram called the 80s Garage. And he has an 80s style garage with like license plates, BMX bikes, like check it out, Instagram, the 80s Garage. And he constantly posts things from like the 80s where he's like, do you remember this actress? Or do you remember this scene from this movie? Or all these different things. Yeah. And it's a fantastic Instagram. Like it takes you back. And then he plays like, toy commercials and whatnot because those commercials were lit. And
of course they were.
They were the best, right? And I have such an appreciation for that. It's like, dude, the 80s, like we will be the generation that's like, the 80s were it. Like we got, like I got a full shot of it. You got like a half shot of it. But that will be a time that was so like neon color, corporate takeover, the birth of the yuppie, pre-internet, back when people were just like trying to ride cool bikes and get an action figure.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. No. And I think there was just this like innocence that comes with those eras. And I feel like that's what we are thinking back to is it was just so genuine and clean. And we had this fun that was not like, it could not be tainted. And I feel like the fun nowadays, there's so much internet and there's so many icky things that taint that fun. But like that genuine joy that we would get from riding our bikes outside and going down the street and getting your friends and playing. Like we used to run around an apartment complex when my parents got divorced when I was little. My dad moved in an apartment and I would play spies with my friends and we'd run around and we'd be looking for fingerprints on things. And it's just we didn't have this distraction of phones, technology, or all of the other things that kind of make you grow up so quickly that it steals that youth.
Yeah.
It was such a good time.
We took all tech away from our kids. Yeah. The only games we actually picked up an Atari recently.
Yes.
So it's you can get them. They have joysticks.
Yeah.
Because like, I need a joystick. But now they're playing like Centipede, they're playing tanks, and it's the type of fun that it's like, no, this is it. There is no upgrade. There is and the games hold, like the challenge is real. It's still difficult to do. You have to develop skill.
It doesn't save it, so you got to start all over again. Gotta
do it. Yeah, it's I also had this very funny moment when I haven't been homesick at all since I've moved here.
Okay.
Because I really feel at home here. But
Absolutely.
I did have these moments like a week ago. And I think it came from like, I had dreamt about it, but I just remember when my kids were young, when like walking my oldest to preschool. And I remember that was obviously in my old neighborhood in California. And I definitely realized it's like, okay, you're not this isn't homesick. You don't want to move back there. What it was then is what it was when you moved is not what you were dreaming about. What you were just doing is like, you're remembering this phase of life you were in, which was just so cool. Like you're in right now.
Absolutely.
And it's gone now. Oh. And it's over, and I'll never get it back. And that's not the location. It was just a phase.
Getting
of life.
Those phases back with your kids and that time of life. Oh my gosh, we were just talking about the fires a little while ago. Yeah. Did you see online? Okay, I always shout them out. Sid's Garage. They're pretty amazing people. Yeah. Like I know the owners personally. Yeah. Which, by the way, they're opening a couple restaurants in Eagle that are going to be phenomenal.
Holler at me, Sids.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. But with the fires that were going on, they did like this big campaign and they partnered with the village. Mm-hmm. And well, I can't say they partnered. I'm going to say they have this initiative. The village was like, let us get in on it.
Right.
They filled up 2 big U-Hauls, drove them out to California with donations from our beautiful community to the fire victims. That's awesome. To directly drop them off. So that way people had the resources. And then they partnered with the firefighters the next day to cook and feed them because they weren't getting necessarily all the resources they needed as well. So it was beautiful to see that we live, and like that part of being homesick, that's why I thought about it is I same kind of thing, but I think there's such a culture out here of people wanting to support one another and good people and people with such amazing hearts showing up for people that they've never met before and they probably will never meet again. And just we have this beautiful intertwined community that is passionate about serving one another. Yeah. And there's an innocence and there's a genuine quality that you can't find anywhere else. And that goes along with where we live.
You know what? I don't think it's innocence. I think it's courage.
Absolutely.
I think people serve others not because they're naive, but because they understand that whatever they may think of somebody, it's like they can still help them.
Absolutely.
I think that's more of what it is.
But I also feel like there's a lot of us that have convened is not the right word probably.
Kind of congregated.
But congregated here in this one spot to find people with such big hearts and people that are willing to give whatever they have to help somebody they've never met is just awe-inspiring. And it's just a wonderful reminder that we build the community that we're in and we build these communities that surround us. And one little act of courage and love can make a domino of effect in the grand scheme of all of this.
I love it.
I love it too. I love you so much, little dude.
He's the best.
You know that? You're the best. I love you.
Oh my gosh. Brandy, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
God bless you, woman.
It's going to be great. You too.
Great. Oh, it's going to be awesome. 2 weeks. Let's do it again.
We're absolutely going to do this again.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.